you're here facing me, all right, we're going to work through basically all the options if they grab onto your wrist. So this is mostly green belt-ish stuff. So we're going to do wrist escapes and wrist funnels. And maybe some, if we have time, we'll do some fun other stuff at the end that isn't necessarily either of these, but is still cool. Okay, so first of all, wrist escape. Kid comes up and grabs onto my wrist. We're gonna do what's called same side grab. So he's grabbing on the same side. The really basic version of this is I wanna put my elbow against his elbow. But to make sure, in case he's really super strong and I can't do that, I'm gonna use my whole body. So I'm gonna grab onto my fist, pin onto my body, and then rather than using my arm to put my elbow into his elbow, I'm gonna turn my body towards his elbow. And then, depending on what he was doing, what he was grabbing me for, boom, we were just working on that Wing Chun stuff. I just went this way, boom, boom. Then you can throw some of those. So again, pin on your body, turn your whole body so your elbow goes towards their elbow, and then you can throw your own elbows, or if they're long range hammers and slaps or whatever. Okay, just do that a couple times per person per side. And Sky, I don't know if you have a camera, but if not, I'll just assume you're probably doing it correctly because you usually do. Okay, good. Let's do it a couple times. So again, keys are make a tight fist and pin it on your body so your whole body turns, and as soon as you break free, if they're close enough for elbows, you can throw elbows. If they're not, you can throw slaps or whatever. Okay, let's do the other hand real quick. Okay. Okay, now cross grab, which is a cross and grab with my wrist. Now what I'm gonna hit on his arm, not at the bend of the wrist, slightly above the bend of the wrist, because if I do that, hold on tight. So I'm gonna use one finger, hold on tighter, tight as you can with one hand. Okay, so if you push right here, it tends to make the wrist bend. If you have a tight fist and bend your wrist, you'll notice it starts to come apart. So you're doing that. If you hit at the bend of their wrist, your hand keeps it from bending, so you want to hit right above so you get this thing. Okay, then my other hand is going to do something. This one goes there, and hopefully that will make him let go, this motion. The other hand is going to twist, palm up like I'm throwing a frisbee, and throw a frisbee the other direction through this gap between thumb and forefinger. And hopefully that on its own can do it. But just in case, I'm going to do both, one hand. And then, as long as I'm here, I've got this hand out here, boom. Then you can counterattack. If you need to. If they're just escaping, then you can run. Or maybe you do both. Maybe you hit them and then you run. Okay, so give that a try. Grab on, it's called cross grab. So one hand plucks at the wrist, the other one throws a frisbee, and then you counterattack. So other side, pluck the wrist, throw the frisbee. Again. Make sure your body turns, yeah, there you go. And if you do it right, that's gonna bring their head down, or if it so happens, it might change depending on the angle, it's not necessarily right. Okay. Pluck, frisbee, and then slap, whatever. Okay. And we're just gonna keep on rolling through these. If you don't get them down perfectly, that's okay. We're just gonna run through a bunch of different options. So next, what happens if I grab both hands? Or he grabs both hands. So he grabs onto both hands. Now I'm gonna get really excited that he let go. So excited that I celebrate and knee him in the gut. Yay, he let go. Okay, and when I do that, I wanna make sure my hands go up and towards him. So the person holding on, their hands are like this, and you're gonna move their hands up and then out. So remember, the weakest part of the grip is this gap between thumb and fingers. So I'm gonna go up and out. At the same time, I pick my knee up. So even if this doesn't make him let go, hopefully the knee coming at their thigh or groin or solar plexus, boom, is gonna make them let go. Okay, and give that a try a couple times. This one's usually easier for most people. Okay. Right. Yeah. Or you can, If they're a lot taller than you, you can do a flick kick to the groin or a stomping kick to the knee. Whatever you can reach. And oftentimes they'll be so fixated on your hand, they don't see the kick or the knee strike coming until it's already hit. And you want to launch that knee kind of up and towards them. Rather than just straight up, you're going to drive it into them.
Yay.
Okay. And we're just going to keep on rolling. So now what happens if he grabs 2 on 1? This is probably the hardest one to resist. So he grabs both hands on one of mine. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my arm as much as I can. Like I'm going to try and go thumbs up and touch my thumb to my shoulder. Maybe I'm strong enough that I can just peel through that way. But if not, then I'm going to bend it as much as I can. And then to make sure, I'm going to grab onto my fist. So I reach over between his 2 hands. Then I'm going to get excited and celebrate that he let go. Boom. So again, I bend it as much as I can, reach over the top, grab onto your own fist, and then same sort of celebration, except instead of having your hands this way, you drive your elbow up. It's potential, there is a potential their head is going to whip down. You'll hit them with that, but I'm really focused on the knee. Okay, so give that a go. 2 on 1. Bend your arm as much as you can, reach over, grab, peel it back, lift your elbow, drive your knee, and you're free. Okay, go. Bend your elbow as much as you can and launch your knee up at the same time. So bend it, pull it up. Ooh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, realism.
No, I almost had you.
Yeah, and then I missed you. Me and them.
This guy. Rex. Okay. And again, this is crash course. We're just going to whip right through them. Okay. Now we've done all of the wrists from the front, all the basic configurations. Now we're going to go wrists behind. If he grabs one wrist from behind, I just turn and face him, and it's one of the ones from the front. But if he grabs both from behind, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quick check. Boom, kick my foot up to back kick. Oftentimes, that'll be enough to make him let go. And I can hit anywhere from thigh up to solar plexus. It'll be effective pretty much no matter where it hits. Groin is really effective. So kid, come on. And after that, if he hasn't let go, or maybe he's too close and I can't flick him. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crash backwards into him. So I just crash straight back, and hold on. I crash back, and my hands go in front of me. Now, from here, I'm going to shove my rear end backwards and my hands forward like I'm about to dive into a pool.
Crab.
I shove my rear end backwards like I'm about to dive into a pool, and then I pick up my elbows and spin around. I want to have my hands up here, so in case there's a punch, my elbows are up, so it'll punch me in the elbow, or if he's really close, I'll just smash him in the head. So one more time real quick. Come on. So I do this quick back kick, then I crash into him, and oftentimes I'm not expecting it. So if he's dragging me backwards, he's expecting me to go like this, but if I run backwards, oftentimes they'll let go just from that. Notice my chest is still up high. I might have my head tucked if they're really tall and I don't want to hit my head. And then my rear end goes and my hands go and spin. Okay, give that a try a couple times. So again, back kick, crash, diving board, elbows. Okay, good.
Next.
I don't want you to kick me in the ball.
So, back kick, crash into them. Back kick, crash into them. Then crash in. So back kick, crash into them. Shove your hands forward, rear end backwards, and then don't just run because then they're just going to chase you. As soon as you come up, throw elbows. Again, back kick, crash backwards into them. Then rear end backwards, hands forward, and then bend your elbows, boom, and spin. Back kick, crash, dive, elbows.
Back kick.
Okay. Now what we're going to do is, if you don't quite have those, great. We have an opportunity to run through them again. So we're going to try and review all of those. Kid, come on over. So real quick, there's same side, make a fist, pin on your body, spin, elbow towards their elbow. Cross grab, that's pluck and frisbee. So he plucks my wrist, throws a frisbee. There's one-on-one where he gets so excited that I let it go that he makes it happen, fulfills his own wish. There's 2-on-1 where he bends his arm as much as he can, up, like he's trying to touch his thumb to his shoulder, then grabs his own hand, gets excited. And then there's the behind what we just did. Back kick, crash, boom, dive, elbows. Okay, so run through all of those once each real quick. And go ahead. So same side, fist, pin, elbow to elbow, cross grab, pluck, and frisbee throw. One-on-one, get excited, they let go. Two-on-one, bend as much as you can, grab, and then you get excited, they let go. Behind, back kick, crash, dive, elbows. Let's go. Actually, I'm gonna watch it.
You're already hurting.
Okay, so Noah, you want to grab your fist, put it on your body. Now turn your body so your elbow hits his elbow. Other way. Yep, there you go, like that, nice. Okay, kid, run through these real quick. So again, there's same side cross grab, one-on-one, two-on-one, and from behind. Pin and spin. And notice there's a little gap between me and him and it doesn't work, but if it's on his body, he can go as slow as he wants and I can't hold on. So when you do the pin and spin, if that's on your body, then 5-year-olds can escape from my grip. If it's off their body, then sometimes adults can't get me to let go. And pluck and frisbee, if it's cross grab, then you try and hit their wrist up right above their wrist to make it bent. You want to pluck. A slap generally tends to make them tighten up. You want to pluck, and the other one throws a frisbee the other direction. And then whatever. And then one-on-one, get excited, they let go. Two-on-one, bend your arm as much as you can, try and touch your thumb to your shoulder and get excited. And then behind, back kick, back, crash, dive. Oh, elbows, don't forget the elbows, you're gonna get punched in the head. Back kick, crash, back kick, crash, dive, elbows, yeah, good. Okay, cool. So there's wrist grabs, wrist escapes rather. What we're gonna do next real quick is we're gonna run through just the wrist grab portion of what we call the fourth funnel or the grab funnel, which is the universal, someone grabs you, what do you do? But let's take a 1-minute water bathroom break real quick. So 1 minute, come back, and we're gonna do some more grabs.
1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute you can clean up. So like for Hamilton,
Yes.
30-ish seconds left.
not sad that that was your Christmas present.
No. Really.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what if rather than escaping, you want to do some damage or submit a person, or alternately, this doesn't work? So oftentimes on black belt tests, I'll say someone grabs you, do whatever. And sometimes they'll do an escape, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work. It's good to have a backup. So here's the pretty much universal backup. He grabs onto my wrist, and for this one, now it's a trap. He's pinned on, now he can't let go. So now I've grabbed onto him, and I'm not just grabbing with this hand, I'm also pressing the other one into his hand, so it's a sandwich. So now try and let go, try and take your hand back. Kid, take your hand back. No, go back away, take your hand back. Now I've got him. He grabbed me, but now I've got him. Okay, another note, we're gonna do some wrist locks. For wrist locks, the thumb is really important.
You're gonna hurt me, aren't you?
So when I grab, I'm gonna grab onto his hand however I can. So here's his hand. I'm grabbing.
I'm trying to do a different.
Open up your hand, kid, so I can see. So when you grab, generally you grab around this part of their hand, and if you can't fit all the way around that part of their hand, then you'll go on the back of their hand, and you'll either have your thumb on this ridge or this ridge. So however you can get the best grip across their hand, you're gonna grab onto their hand. So again, he grabs, Then I'm going to pin his hand. Now the next step in this is I need to get his hand up high. So I'm going to use my hips to turn my body and up and down. Now notice his thumb down is boo, that's bad for him. If he was grabbing on and I went the other way, hold on. If I went the other way, his thumb isn't down, this is not going to work. So I want to turn, so at the end his thumb is down, and notice it's right in front of my chest. This way I have control still. Okay, so that's the first step. And then from there, all I'm going to do is keep on turning, get my elbow on top of his, and then notice he went down. I want his hand to stay up high and his body down low. So he can't get up any higher than this because my elbow's in the way. Then I would just keep on turning and pushing my elbow down until he either taps or goes to the ground, or both.
I'm gonna push down.
Okay, so in the air, here's what the motion looks like. I'm gonna pin. For now, we'll do same side just so everybody's the same way. I'm gonna turn my hips, move my arm up. So my arm is doing this, my body is doing this. Don't move your arm side to side. This is where it's strong. So pin, turn, lift, turn. Got their hands secured, then keep on turning so you get your elbow over top theirs, keeping this up high, tight to your chest, then keep on pushing your elbow down and turning until they tap or go to the ground. And again, do this slow.
Back.
Okay,
Right.
so same side,
Lift.
do it nice and slow, and we'll walk through it with kid.
Does he not tell people the kid's name? Or?
Okay,
No, it's just
so again, step by step, he pins my hand on his hand. Now he's going to turn across, but not move his body. Notice I moved his body, and now I've got control of him. So when he turns his whole body as one unit, and he's got his hand still right in front of his belly button. Okay, now he's going to go straight up. Oh, he let go, so now I can let go.
So fast.
Okay, so pin it tight. He's going to turn his hips. He lifts up, then he turns back. So now I'm in the awkward position. So pin, turn, up, back down. And if you have it right, your thumb points down. Then he's going to keep on turning, get his elbow on top of mine, and take me down to the ground.
So, yeah.
Like I said, these are a little bit more advanced.
nice.
Mhm.
Ivan, are you doing this? No pillows needed.
No.
Okay.
But I
So
think-
watch me one more time, and if you don't have it, you can walk through step by step with me. So Kit, come on over here. So Ivan and Noah, if you don't have this, then watch what I'm doing. Or if you haven't done this before.
The elbow part.
So again, he grabs onto my wrist. I'm going to pin it. I'm going to turn my body. I'm going to lift my arm and turn. If I do it right, his thumb is pointing down, and I've got the hand pinched. Next,
And
I'm going to keep on turning. So now we're both facing the same direction. I want to go this way, so we're facing opposite directions. I want to turn, so we're facing the same direction. I get my elbow above his. And if he keeps walking, I just keep on turning. In real life, if they walked, you would just turn faster and their arm would probably break. But I'm going to keep on turning, so my elbow is above his. I keep my hands up high. Then just keep on turning and pressing down on his elbow, and also rolling their wrist.
I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that you're taller than me keeps me from going way down, I think. But
Yeah.
I think so when you're
One
turning.
more try each. Like I said, this is much more advanced than what we did before. So Kit, come on. So again, first thing you do is pin their hand onto yours, and you want to be facing them. If you're side to side, you don't have nearly as much power. So wherever your belly button points, as a general rule, that's where you're the most powerful. So he's got it pinned. He turns his body to the outside. He lifts up. He turns back. Now I'm already off balance. Now he's going to keep that pinned. He's going to keep on turning till we're facing the same direction. Get his elbow over mine. So as soon as he lets go, I let go. So keep my hand pinned.
Ow, but that worked really well.
Your elbow on top of mine. Elbow on top of my elbow. Your elbow on top of my elbow. If as soon as you let go, I let go. So get this elbow on top of my elbow. Keep this one pinned so I can't let go. Get this elbow on top of my elbow. And then keep on pushing forward and down and turning that way. Yeah, just elbow on top of my arm. There you go. Right. Okay. So that one's a little bit more advanced. If you didn't get it, don't worry about it. We'll review this another time. But we're going to move on, and we're going to go to jump up to blue belt stuff, and we're going to do some chokes and choke escapes. We did some of these before. There was one we missed, which is collar choke, so we're going to start there because we did this Monday or last week. I don't remember exactly. So here's what we're going to do next. Over here. The one we didn't do is collar choke. Here's how you do a collar choke. This one is pretty effective, but it requires a decently solid shirt. And here's what he's going to do. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to reach across and grab onto my shoulder. And notice when he grabs, it's as close to my neck as possible and slightly behind my neck. So that's key. If he has too much space, it won't work. If he's too far down in front, it won't work. So he wants to reach behind and as close as possible to my neck. And he's going to grab as much shirt as he can. If he's just a little scrap of shirt, he's just going to stretch my shirt out. He wants a big handful. So if he tries to move, I move with him. Now he's going to do the same thing with the other arm. He's going to reach under and across and grab the same way, deep behind, as close to my neck as possible. Then he's going to pull his elbows opposite directions.
Like that.
Across, big handful. Under usually works better, big handful. Then pull your elbows opposite directions. It's also a good idea when you're doing this to duck your head. So if I'm doing this to kid, I grab, I duck my head to keep from getting a haymaker swing. Because if I start doing this, he might just start throwing punches and hitting me in the head. That's not my head. So he might start head. If I duck my head down, he might be able to get a good uppercut. But he won't be able to hit me very hard. Okay, one note, if they're wearing a shirt, he's wearing a sports shirt and it's really light, here's what you can do if their shirt is really light. All you do is reach further down their back, slide a bunch up so you can get a bigger handful. Otherwise, when I was doing that on his, a stitch popped. So if I really cranked it, I would probably just rip. So if this shirt is really heavy, so that'd work with just that. If not, reach behind their back, slide a handful up, and then grab it. Okay. Give that a go, and then we'll do the escapes. So Noah and Ivan, your shirts are probably light enough that you're going to have to reach down the back a little bit and grab kind of on their collarbone. Then reach across the other side. And then get a super tight grip of the biggest handful of shirt you can get. Pull your elbows down. In karate, when we did this, my sensei said if they're taller than you, what you would do, and he would always do, is come up and knee you in the groin or the thigh or the gut, and you're instinctively going to go like that, and that'll drop their height. And if this isn't working, it's usually because you're not either close enough to their neck or far enough behind their neck, or you don't have a big enough handful of shirt. And be ready to tap as soon as you get it. And remember, try and duck your head in between your arms to avoid catching that haymaker in the side of the head. Okay, Noah and Ivan, show me. Noah, Ivan, show me.
Don't hit me in the side of the head.
Yep, and go to the tap.
Do it. I know the haymaker.
Okay, Noah, show me.
Remember that one.
Cross, grab a big handful of shirt. Reach across, grab a big handful of shirt. Pull your elbows opposite directions.
I think the second punch would be right in the throat. That would be really bad. Just I've dodged your attack.
He's like, stop it, you know. Gonna yell at us. Or he
Okay.
probably can't see.
So wherever you're at, call that good.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a couple different ways you can do this that are a little bit different. So Kit, come on over here. Another thing I can try is, say I get this one and I can't get the other one. Maybe my arm is bent. Maybe this hand is up. He's got this hand up protecting himself, and I can't get my hand in there. He's realized that this is bad. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach around the same shoulder. So this is his right shoulder. I'm going to reach around behind that same shoulder. So I went to this side of his head with one arm, around with the other arm. And once I'm here, I'm going to grab a big handful of shirt behind his back. Now from here, I might be able to just pin and push my arm into the side of his neck and choke him that way. But that requires either really good technique or a lot of strength and or really heavy shirt. But from here, if I've got this, it has a couple good advantages. One, it's harder for him to tell what I'm doing until it's done. And the second is he can protect against this by ducking his chin, and this is gonna lift his chin up because I'm gonna take this one that's behind his head and just slide it over his head. And when it does that bit at the end, it tends to lift his neck up. So then I can get my arms in there.
No mercy for the kid.
That wasn't me even trying to do the choke. That was just getting the arm position made him tap. Okay, so again, you reach across. The other one goes around behind, get a big handful of shirt, and then the one that's around behind, slip it around their head. And usually that's going to lift their head up and then just slip your arms in. And again, if you're not able to get it, just reach further down their back to wad up some shirt so you can get a bigger handful. Oh. Okay, and give that a couple tries. Then we'll talk about escape from this. Okay.
Other hand.
And then reach around behind.
They're just doing.
No, other
Around like we
hand.
did before. Around. Lever it in.
See if you can bend reach around.
You will. Yeah. Good. Do it again.
And I'm gonna be like this.
Reach across first. Over. Yeah. You don't have this on the right next to the neck. Hold on, get a better grip first. You're gonna be touching.
There we go. I don't know. I can't do the other way.
Okay.
Somebody won't let me.
Oh, a lot of hitting me in the throat. I'm hungry. Are we done yet?
Just 2 slices of cheese.
And there's food down there.
And again, you got one arm across, other one reaches around the same shoulder, grab a big handful of shirt next to the neck on the other side, and the one that reaches around behind slips around and under to get the collar choke. So I'll give that one more try real quick.
I'm gonna try doing.
Oh, cross. There you go. No, you
Yep,
moved
good.
the wrong. Oh, I love you.
You won't love me in a minute.
Okay.
There you
So let's talk about escapes from that. So one escape is he gets that collar choke, so you just go straight to the arms across. One thing that can work if you're fast and don't have it locked in yet, we talked about joke choke, so I can counter his choke with a choke, and that's just going to the tracheal notch, just slipping my thumb in, so slipping the thumb into the tracheal notch, or 3 fingers, depending on how big your partner is, and you just slide up here, and right where neck transitions to collarbones, there's a little gap, and you want to push perpendicular to neck, so you want to push straight back. And if that's not working, then you can push down and try and get your thumbs under their collarbones or your fingers under their collarbones. But the main thing to do is you're compressing their trachea so they can't breathe.
can do that.
So as soon as they go and grab, just try and slip your arm in. That's one reason too, you want to duck your chin so that they can't do that back to you. Okay, just give that a try real quick.
Duck your face.
Okay,
I don't think he would do that. I think it was just weird.
so probably not. That's one quick option. If they have it locked in there or they duck their chin like you're supposed to, then things get a little bit trickier. So he gets the collar choke. My next option is this one. I'm going to go over his top arm, under his bottom arm. I can make it work the other way, but it's a little bit trickier. And if you're trying to get it one way and you can't, then you can suddenly switch and you can sometimes make that work as well. Like over one, under the other, I'm going to pray. So I have my hand behind his elbow, then I'm going to drop on top of him. See how that already didn't let go? So grab on again. So I'm going to drive this elbow down, drive the other one up, and not just using my arms, I'm going to turn my whole body and pop it across. Careful if you do that super fast and they have a really strong grip because you can hyperextend their elbow. But if they're holding on tight, you're going to have to go faster. So again, over one arm, under the other, pray, elbow drops, hands lift, turn, and their choke is going to go like that. Okay, kid, let's do it. So again, you have the collar choke, go over the top arm with whichever side that's on, go under the other elbow, elbow down, arm up, turn your whole body, so you're using your hips. A little faster. Yeah.
Another way.
And again, we were talking about when we were doing Wing Chun before, the washing machine agitator that generates power. That's, boom, where the power comes from in this, if you're using power. Okay. And we're out of time. So everyone facing me.
We're all half an hour.
Chiriat. Ganye. Okay, that ran a little bit late, so we're going to start advanced class in 1 minute.
Right.
So 1 minute. And Noah, Ivan, if you guys are heading out, see you next time. And start heading back. Mr. Claw, are you working on those actual staff defense things? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think what we're going to do in this class is we're going to review at least the transitions for the whole Crash series. So the Crash series is the grappling control series. And we're going to do the transitions, and if we have time, we'll go back and do the submissions. So the Crash series, remember, starts off either someone starting a fight with you or they just started a fight, they just threw a swing. It can be too, it's pretty obvious they're about to fight, they turn their arm backwards and drop their head, they look away because they're going to sneak attack you. So starts off, it's called the Crash series because the first thing you do is do a front cover as you charge in and you crash into them, and you're crashing right here. You're hitting this arm that's coming in and this shoulder to off balance them, and then you go to the hug. So we're going to run through all of the steps really quick, and then, so just watch real quick. We're going to go through them as quickly as we can, and then we'll go slower step by step with you guys. So I throw it, he crashes in, then he gets a hug. This is in tight, and this is so it makes it hard for me to hit him. Now he's going to go to the tackle. He's going to release a little bit, bend his knees, get lower, take me up, tackle, and he shoots over to mount. Okay, now I'm going to turn around so you can see the control position. First control position, he's going to go under my right arm, around the back of my head, and he's squeezing tight so there's no space. So he's removing, this arm can't do anything, and I can't do much to his head with this one because it's too close. I can't hit it very well. So this is the first position, first control position. Now we're going to work on the transition. The next control position is this. So he's going to let me go. Next one is what happens if I roll over onto my belly, trying to get up. So now second control position is here. One arm goes over my shoulder, the other one goes under this arm. And then usually from here, I'm going to try and get up. As soon as I got up, notice he got his feet hooked inside my thighs. And from here, if I stand up, that's bad for him because I can just body slam him. So what he's going to do is he's going to throw his body weight some direction to tip me over. Boom. And now he's got turtle. We call this turtle seatbelt position. And again, he's got me tight. There's no space between me and him. Okay, so this is the second control position. Now from here, what happens if I get out? Maybe he goes for a rear naked choke. Maybe I split his hands apart. Maybe I just elbow him in the thighs really hard. But I roll over. I get his hands to let go. I roll over, and now I'm in guard. So he grabs me with his legs and hooks his ankles. And then let's move back a little bit so we don't crash into his bike over here. So he crosses his ankles. And then the third control position is monkey hug. So he's going to take one arm around my neck here, the other one headlocking my arm, and now he's got me here. Then from that, we're going to go to second monkey foot progression. I go up, I start throwing punches. He hooks the back of my elbow and pushes knee against it, hooks the other elbow, and then I'm trying to punch, and he's just hanging off my elbows. And then I go up, he goes to monkey knees. I throw a punch, he lifts his hips up, pushes me back, and then we're up to monkey feet. Okay, so that's the whole of the Crash series. We're going to walk through the whole thing together, step by step, and then we'll switch and the other person can go through the whole thing step by step. So again, from the beginning, fix my mic here real quick. All right, step one. He's going to be the defender. I throw the attack, he crashes. Now, after the crash, he's gonna hug, squeezing as tight as he can. He wants to get his head pinned against my body so I can't punch him. Next step, he's gonna drop his body weight, squeeze onto my legs or abs, and bow into me to take me down backwards. If you don't have a good surface to crash down into, you can let go and let him go down. We talked before about how you can get him there. Okay, so now, first control position is he's gonna take his left arm, swim under my right arm, because most people are right-handed. He's taking his right hand under my neck, and now he's got that squeeze tight. So this arm is pretty much useless, and he's got his head on the same side as my other arm, so I can't really hit him with it. He's also got his feet hooked into my legs, and from there he can lift up his knees off the ground and drive his weight into my chest, and with that he can just relax and hang out there and wear me out. Okay, but we're gonna go to the next transition. So he's gonna release that to let me turn. So he let go of that control position, and he's just gonna let me roll, no, not yet. We're not doing the submissions yet. Roll onto my belly. Okay, from here, he put his arm over between my neck and my shoulder on one side, boom, and under my arm on the other side, then grabs them, and he wants to cinch that tight so see how here's space? He doesn't want space. He wants to cinch that tight. So right now he's actually doing a little bit of a choke, and he's crushing the air out of me a little bit. And then once I get up, he's got his hooks immediately inside my thighs or around my hips or whatever he can grab. And from here, when I start to get up, he's gonna throw his body weight some direction and tip us over. And now we've got, come back up, come on, come on, come on. We've got turtle rear control position or rear seat belt. And again, he's trying to remove the space. And this is technically the next control position. He's got his hooks still inside my legs. He's got this tight seat belt across. Okay, now we're gonna go to the next position, which I break his grip free. I'm just gonna stay between his legs because we're assuming he's keeping me there. I roll onto my belly. Now we're in guard. So he's gonna try and cross his ankles to bring me down. Cross your ankles. Cross your ankles. Just push your legs more. You wanna cross your ankles. This crossed ankles bit is super important because if you don't have that, they're just gonna get up, boom, and start punching you. But if you have them grabbed with your legs, just that alone is making it hard for me to get up and throw a punch. Now, monkey hang, he's gonna take his right arm. No, not yet. Monkey hug, sorry. He's gonna take his right arm and reach up and hug my head. And then he's trapping my right arm with a headlock. And he's really got me latched down here. So I'm having a hard time even picking up to throw my left hand. And this one is trapped. So I come up, we're gonna monkey hang. And again, he wants to hook his hand right on the bend of my elbow and put the top of his shin or bottom of his knee right into my arm. And he's gonna be pulling and pushing. So right now this arm is sandwiched between a pull at the elbow and a push at the knee. So now I can't punch with this one. You can do the same thing with the other one. And now he's just got me wedged up here. From here, I have two options. I can try and get past his knees, in which case he can just pull me down again and go to monkey hug. Or I can try and let go, and he squeezes his knees together. And if I lean into him, he picks his hips up. And as soon as he picks his hips up off the ground, just that lift will lengthen his body and push me back. And then from here, I'm gonna go up. He's gonna go from monkey knees to monkey feet. And that's the series. Okay. Wherever you got with all of that, we're gonna switch and do the other side. Okay. Oh, wait, I didn't see you join us. So, here we go again. Other person. And again, step by step, I start to throw the punch. He crashes into my arm and shoulder, then goes to the hug. He gets his ear against my shoulder. I can't punch him very well. Then he's gonna open his grip. So he relaxes his grip, he creates some space so he can move. He drops down lower, either to my thighs or my hips, just whatever he can get lower, cinches tight again. And notice when he dropped, he bends his knees. So when he drops lower, he bends his knees, then squeezes tight and straightens his knees, and that tips me backwards. And he bows, drives forward, takes me down, and we're in mount. Okay, from here, whoever's on top, your left arm swims under their right, and your right arm goes around the back of their neck. You want to remove any space for this arm by squeezing it tight. So here, I can't move this arm. His head is over here, so I can't really hit him with this arm. Now, the feet, hooks inside the legs. If you can't get to their legs, you just hook whatever you can. Okay, no position one. From here, we could do some submissions, or you can wear them out. We're going to go to step 2. So, okay. Now, that was step 1, on to step 2. Hopefully you guys can hear me since he was laying on my microphone. But next, person on top, you're going to let them, person on the bottom, roll over onto their belly. Normally you wouldn't do that. You would make them work for it. And then we're going to go to position 3. Or, sorry, rear control, seatbelt. This one goes across over my neck. The other one goes under my arm. And then if I just stay here, he can just lay here and keep that cinch tight, because if it's tight, it's super uncomfortable and it starts choking me a little bit, like a little bit lightheaded, and it crushes the air from my lungs. But I'm gonna push myself up, and this is really strong, pushing up like that. He gets his hooks in here, and this is apparently very exciting. So he's got his hooks in here, inside my legs, and he's gonna throw his body weight some direction. I'm gonna go slow so I don't smash him. Okay, now this is the turtle position. He let go. Normally he wouldn't let go, but again, he's got over and under. Come on. And seatbelt. Okay, let's switch to the other side so I can get my mic. Okay, so he's got that seatbelt. Now from here, if you are in this position and you need to escape, the main thing you do is get the hands. So this is option 1. Option 2 is elbowing the thighs. So between 1 or 2 of those things, you break free. Yep. Fix my mic real quick. Mic control. All right. Then the person who was just being grabbed, I broke their grip. I'm going to roll over onto my bed. Again, the person on the bottom, it's super important that your mic doesn't fall down into their face. Super important that you grab them with your legs, and if you can, they might be big enough that you can't, but you want to cross your ankles. The higher up their body, the better, because the more control it gives you. Now if I try and get up, he can just squeeze his legs and use the strength of his legs to help pull me down. Okay, now monkey hang. So he's got me with his legs. Make sure cross. And he's got his right arm around my head. Left arm has my right arm. So the only weapon I have is this one. If he's got me tight enough, it's gonna be hard to punch. The only real target is down here, but even that is hard to hit. Now I go up, I try and throw this punch. He traps elbow and arm, and he's got his knees wedged up into my armpits and pulling my arms towards him. I can't pull my arm back. I can't push it forwards. And then if I do manage to get through, he goes to monkey knees, lifts his hips to push me back, and then if I get up, we're in monkey feet. Okay. So I was just running through that, and I didn't stop to see if any of you had it or if you had any questions. So let's do this. We're gonna take a 1-minute break, and if you have questions, unmute yourself and ask any questions you had about that series. And if not, we'll move on and we'll do some of the submissions. Okay, there's no questions. That's hopefully a good sign. Again, we did that pretty quick, but we've been doing this off and on for the last month or 2 pretty regularly. So hopefully you got it all. But in a quick review, crash, hug, tackle once you're in mount, arm around the neck, arm under the arm, squeeze tight. If they roll over, get your seatbelt over and under. Roll over, get your hooks in. If they switch over to guard, cross your ankles, hug, trap. And if they escape, monkey hang, monkey knees or monkey shins, and then up from there. Okay. Now, let's move on to some of the different ways you can submit someone from there. Normally we start at the beginning, but a bunch of you guys, I think, already might know the submissions from the first one, the key lock, collar choke, and the armbar. So just we'll do a quick informal poll. If you know those 3 submissions from mount, you know the collar choke, you know the key lock, and you know the hug and armbar, stick a thumb way up if you know them. Stick your thumb way down if you don't, just so I can tell on my little screen. So if you know it really well, stick your thumb way up. If you don't know it, stick your thumb way down by your side. If it's somewhere in between, you can do this thing, just so I can see where we're at. Okay. So it looks like those are probably worth reviewing. So we'll just start there at the beginning. Kid, where'd you go? All right. So there's a bunch of different submissions from mount, but we're going to do probably the 3 simplest and most effective ones. We're going to start each one from that first control position. So whoever's on the top, you're going to get that control position. Remember, you swim under their arm, and the other one goes around the back of their neck. Okay, from here, here is how he is going to get this. What he needs to do, mic relocation closer to a person, less laying on. Okay, so now this arm that's up, he's going to use his left hand to get this arm down to the one that's behind his head. So he's going to let go with his left arm, slip it out, and whatever he needs to do to get my wrist down here. So notice he's got my wrist with the hand that's behind my head now. And notice the next thing he did, don't forget. The next thing he did is as soon as he got that, he then slipped his left arm back under and grabbed onto his own wrist. So this is exactly right here. Okay, now for the next step, he can't actually do the lock from here. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna slip his arm around to the other side of my head. And once it's there, he's gonna push his elbow into my head as far across as he can get it. If he can get my body to be bent, he's got it so far over, that's gonna get this arm separated out and make it harder for me to do something with it. Okay, once he's got this separated, he can use his head to either keep it pinned if I'm lifting it up, or to get in the way if I'm trying to reach over and grab my own hand. Then he's gonna lift my elbow up and drag my hand down under it. So my arm is going the wrong way. And if you're having a hard time picturing it, imagine the arm is a catapult. You're loading it up to fire. So here the catapult's unloaded. So you want to lift the elbow and lower the arm. Okay, so that is the first position. Our first submission. All right, for the person who just went, we're gonna do that one more time, and then we'll switch who's on the top. So, actually, I'll just watch you guys and talk through it step by step. So, same person on top, and we'll just run through it again, and then we can switch and the other person can go. So you start off in that control position, your right arm under their neck, left arm swims under their arm so that their right arm, you want it ideally pinned straight up against their head so that they can't use their right arm at all. Left arm swims under their arm, and then you squeeze your hands together using the strength of your grip to hold them, and then we'll go from there. So get that control position, and then we'll start working, transitioning from that into the key lock. Okay, so again, left arm swims under their right, your right arm goes around the back of their head, grab your hands, your head, if you're on top, is gonna go to the right side of their head. So right side looking down, it's not actually the right side of their head, but from your perspective. Okay, now transitioning, you're gonna let go with your left hand, slip it out, and your goal, that hand that they have raised up, their right hand, you need to somehow manhandle it, or I guess woman handle it down, to hand it to the hand that's under their neck. So your right arm that's around your neck, you need to use your left hand to get their right arm down so you can grab with your right arm onto their right wrist. Once you've got that, you can take your left hand, slip it back under and grab under your own wrist. Okay, if you are at that position, next step is take your right arm that's behind their neck, slip it up and over so now it's free, and then push that into the side of their head. Your goal is to bend their body. So if I'm the person on the ground, you're gonna try and bend my body this way. So you've got this arm trapped, your elbow's pushing to the side of my head to bend my body over. So I'm all bound up over here and this arm is separated from everything else. So you push that over. From there, you're now grabbing, this one's that was behind their head is grabbing onto their wrist. You're grabbing onto your wrist. You're gonna use your forearm to lever their arm up, while you use your other arm to drag it down. So their arm, if this is the ground, let's see if I can get the ground. Here's the ground, boom. You're gonna lift their elbow up and drag the back of their hand on the ground like that. So their elbow's going this way and their hand is going that way, pinned straight under it. Nice, easy. Okay. So we're gonna go to the other person and walk through that again. Hopefully you got it. If not, don't worry about it. This is a staple of class now, so we're gonna be doing this fairly regularly. And eventually you'll get it, even if you didn't know. Okay, so for the other person, you're up. And step by step. Kid. Okay. So, other person's on top, and you're gonna start in that control position. So your right arm, you're in mount. Actually, we'll switch so I can talk. So I have him in mount. My right arm is under his neck. My left arm is under his right arm. Oop, it's backed out. Move this way. Okay, my right arm's under his neck. My left hand's under his left arm, or his right arm, pinning it up as high as possible. Now, step one, I'm gonna let go with my left hand. I'm gonna take his right hand and hand it to my arm that's under the back of his head. So this is step one. I slip my arm out. Now my right hand is holding onto his right wrist. As soon as I get that, my left hand that's now free is gonna slide back under his arm, grab onto my own wrist. So now I'm in key lock position, but my arm is on the wrong side of his head. Okay, to fix that, I'm gonna slip my arm over the top of his head and then push my elbow into his head, pushing his head as far over to the side as possible. Notice his head is almost pointing to the side. Once I've got that, I'm going to lift his elbow up, and at the same time, so this arm is levering up, like that. My other hand is dragging down. Nice and slow, nice and slow. If you do it too fast, the arm is just gonna pop. And person who they're doing it to, as soon as it gets uncomfortable, tap there. If you wait till it's painful, you might be waiting until it's already being damaged. Okay, I need you for one more thing. Okay, so I'll walk through that one more time wherever you're at. So rewind back to the control position. So you have them in mount. Your right arm goes around the back of their neck. Your left arm goes under their arm to grab onto your own hand so that the right arm is now pretty much useless, pointing straight up. Okay, step one, take your left hand. Person on top, take your left hand, let go, use it to feed, to hand their arm, their right arm that's sticking up, to your right hand. And you want to grab onto their wrist with the arm that's behind their head. Now take your left hand, put it on the ground, put it on the carpet or rug or whatever you have, slide it on the ground under their arm, and then up over the top of your wrist like your arm's a speed bump. So you go under their arm and then over the top of your arm. At this point, your right arm is still on the wrong side of their head, so slip it over the top of their head, push it into their ear, so you're bending their whole body over to the side. And from there, it's just applying the key lock, lifting your left arm up while you drag your right arm down, keeping the back of their hand. You want to keep their knuckles on the ground while you lift the elbow up. If you're having a hard time making it work, make sure your right arm is slipped over and it's on the other side of their head. So make sure your right arm is on the left side of their head. If it isn't, you still might be able to make it work, but it's going to be much more difficult. So both your arms should be on the same side of their head, which is the same side that that arm is on. Okay, so wherever you're at, looks like most people are getting it. And again, if you don't have it down, don't worry about it. We're gonna do this a lot. And if you're having a hard time getting the arm bar, remember, elbow goes up, hand drags down. Ideally, you wanna get Again, here's my fake ground. You're going to try and lift their elbow up away from the ground while you drag their knuckles along the ground. Okay, but let's move on and real quick do the second submission you can do from there. Say you're not able to get that to work, then here's the next thing you can do. So again, kid has me in that control position. Okay, so he's got the control, right arm is under my neck, right arm is under my arm. Okay, now he's gonna go for a collar choke. So first thing he's gonna do, this arm that is already under my neck, he's gonna grab onto as much collar as he can, as tight, can you create a little space again? Right next to my collar, as close to my neck as he can, and as big a handful of shirt as you can. The more flimsy their shirt, the more you need. So if it's a shirt that's really light like this, you might need to slide it up so you can get a big handful so it doesn't just rip. Okay, once he's got a handful of shirt with his right arm that's around the back of my neck, he's gonna take his left arm and go across and grab a big handful of shirt right next to my neck on the other side. So now his left arm is across, his other one's still behind. Now, here's the cool part. This arm that's reaching around under my neck, he's gonna slip it up over my head and then it slides right in and picks my neck up. And then he's just gonna lean his forearms while he pulls his elbows opposite directions onto my neck. Do this slowly so you don't collapse their windpipe. And I'll walk it through again real quick. So keep coming over here. And then we'll switch partners, and then that's about all the time we have. So I can move this a little more. Okay, so again, I'm in the control position. My right arm is under his neck. My left arm is under his arm. I've got this nice and controlled. I'm gonna take my right arm that's under his neck. I'm gonna reach and grab as much shirt as I can right next to his neck. So right here, I've got a big handful with this arm right there. Now I'm gonna take my left arm that I'm not using. I'm gonna go across on the other side and grab a big handful of shirt. So this hand is reaching across, big handful of shirt over here. Now, the next step, all I have to do is the one that's still under his neck. I need to lift that one out and around. And now my arms are crossed, and hopefully I've got his chin up. To protect against this, he would duck his chin down, but now I've got my wrist there so he can't. Once you got this, you would duck your head, lean weight on their neck, and pull your elbows opposite directions. Okay, and let's switch. Which person's on the top? We'll do this one more time. So kid, last time. We have time to do it one more time for the other person. So control position, right arm under their neck, left arm has the right arm pinned up. Step one, the arm, right arm, the one that's behind their neck, grab onto their collar right next to the neck. Now take your left hand, cross it, grab onto their shirt, and your right arm slips over the top of their head. So your forearms are on their neck, duck your head down so I can't hit him. Pull opposite directions and lean weight. Thanks, kid. Okay, and if you don't have that, again, don't worry about it. We'll keep working on it and get that down. And then there's a bunch of other cool ones. So when you go to rear control, there's a couple things you can do from there. And if you go to guard, there's a whole bunch of things you can do from there. But that's it for advanced class. So facing me and Chidia, Kanye. All right, take a quick 1 minute break and we'll come back and do a workout. And if you're heading out, just wave at me and I shall say goodbye. Can you do me a favor? Can you get me a little bit more water? I don't need much. Hi, Simon. Okay, start heading back. Okay. So heading on back, earlier this week we did part of the Monday workout. Now we're going to do the next part of the Monday workout. Just sit over there. Thank you. Okay. Earlier we did 10, 10, 10, 10s. We did airplanes. We did huggy scorpions. We're going to go to the next thing, which is 5-part 3-count lunges. I don't think we did these before, so even if we did, we'll do them again real quick because they don't take too long. So starting off, I'm going to step out into a long lunge, making sure my knee is over my ankle. Then I'm going to put my hands down on the floor on the inside of my foot. So not above it, not on the other side, not behind it, below it, right here, right beside it. Simon, you're not helping. Okay, now I'm going to hang that there for a few seconds. I'm going to take my elbow, put it down on top of my foot, hold that for a few seconds. That hand goes against my foot, other one goes straight up, opening as far as you can. You can reach this behind you if you want for a little bit more of a stretch. Then I switch hands, repeat, hand touches my foot, reach up and again slightly behind if you want more of a stretch. Then reach back behind my back heel, so my front leg straightens, shift my weight back, and switch feet. And I'm gonna do it again. For your back foot, there's two positions. There's straight to the side, which stretches more your adductor, and then there's straight up and down, which stretches more the front of your leg and maybe your Achilles tendon. So again, hands down, and if you want more of a stretch in your heel, push your heel back. So hang out here for a few seconds, elbow to the top of your foot, hang out there for a few seconds. One hand touches your foot, other one reaches up or even slightly behind. And then switch, other hand down, reach up and or slightly behind. And then turn your back foot sideways if it isn't already. Reach back behind your back heel, front foot stays or shifts straight. Then your weight comes back and then switch. So repeat again. And I recommend doing a couple on each. We're going to do 8 of these. So you're going to do 2 per leg with your back heel up, 2 per leg with your back heel down. Okay, so go ahead, and I'll keep rattling through it. You can also do it on your own. So hands down, elbow down, just for 2 or 3 seconds. One hand touches your foot, other one reaches up and behind. Then switch, up and behind. Turn your back foot if it isn't already. Shift your weight behind. You want your back heel on the ground and your knee over your ankle. Other leg is straight. Shift back, switch your feet, and repeat. Hands down, elbow down. One hand touches your foot, the other one goes up. And switch. And turn your back foot if it's not already. Reach behind your back foot, back heel on the ground, right knee over your ankle, front leg straight. And shift up, and we're halfway done. Repeat again on the other side. And again, you want to do about half with your back heel up, about half with your back heel sideways. Hands down, elbow down. One hand touches your foot, other one reaches up and behind. And switch. Turn your back foot, shift your weight backwards, knee over your ankle, front leg straight, up, and switch again. And repeat on the other side. I'm just letting the dog out. So hands down, elbow down. One hand touches your foot, the other one goes up. And switch, other side. Then turn your back knee out to the side, shift your weight out towards the back foot, straighten your front leg. Come back, and 2 more. So again, hands down. Heel down, or elbow down, one hand down, other one up, and then behind if you can, whoop. And then switch. And then turn your back foot sideways, shift your weight backwards, come back up, 1 more. Hands down, elbow down, one hand down, other one up. And switch. Turn your back foot sideways, reach back behind. And come back up. Okay, next, side tilt, forward tilt, back tilt, sumos. Again, we're gonna do 8 of these. I'm gonna get my feet out wide, enough that I just start to feel a groin stretch. This isn't really about the groin stretch, but you wanna feel a little bit of one. One hand palm up, the other one palm down. Reach both sides, so you feel a stretch in both sides. And then switch, just for a couple seconds each one. Hands down, toes up, walk forward to the bottom of a push-up. And then staying as low as possible, walk backwards. If you need to bend your knees a little bit to not fall over backwards, you can, or to get behind you. And you can either hop and slide your feet in or heel toe in. You can either grab onto the balls of your feet, put your feet on your fingers. Some people find it's better if they grab their ankles. Either way, I want to push my knees apart, drop my hips so I feel a groin stretch. From the side here, hips are backwards, knees are apart as wide as they go. Then drop your hips and look up. And straighten and pull down. That was 1 of 8. And repeat, feet apart, groin stretch, palm up, palm down. Reach both directions, feel a stretch in both sides. Hands down, toes up, walk to the bottom of a push-up. Stay as low as possible as you walk backwards. Come up, feet are in. Step on your fingers or grab onto your ankles, push your knees apart as you sink your hips backwards. Then keep on dropping, look up, straighten, pull down, and that was 2. Side stretch, switch, hands down, toes up, walk forward, bottom of push-up, stay low. Come up, bring your feet in, step on your fingers or grab onto your ankles, push your knees apart, drop your hips backwards, keep dropping your hips, look up. Straighten, pull down, and repeat. Groin stretch, side stretch, other side stretch. Hands down, walk forward, bottom of a push-up. Stay as low as you can as you walk backwards. Come up, feet wider than shoulder width. Stand on your fingertips or grab your ankles, push your knees apart, drop your hips backwards, keep on dropping. Straighten, pull down, halfway done. Feet apart, side stretch 1, side stretch 2. Hands down, toes up, walk forward, bottom of push-up, stay low, walk back, come up, bring your feet in, ankles or balls of your feet, knees apart, hips drop backwards, straighten your back, look up behind you, push your knees apart still, straighten, pull down, 3 more. Feet apart, side stretch, heels up or heels down, walk forward, staying low. Come up, feet are in, balls of your feet, hips drop backwards, push your knees apart. Keep pushing your knees apart with your elbows the whole time, even while you're straightening up. Straighten down, and repeat. 2 more. Stretch, side stretch, side stretch. Hands down, toes up, walk forward, bottom of push-up, staying low. Feet come in, knees apart, hips down, chest up, look up, straighten, pull down. Last one. Side, side, bottom of push-up, walk backwards, come up, feet come in, push knees apart, drop your hips down, look chest up, look up, straighten, pull down. Okay, next, we're gonna do 10 flagpole inchworms, and they go like this. I'm going to start off reaching my hands up as high as I can. You can move around a little bit to loosen up your lower back and stretch out your back as high as you can. Bend down, hands as close to your feet as they go. Walk forward to a push-up position, and then push up. When you come up, several options. Easiest edges of your feet. Next hardest is feet are stacked. Next hardest is spread eagle. Harder from there is spread eagle. Do a quick tap behind you and come back up. Other side, same thing. Push up, edges of your feet, or feet stacked, or spread eagle, or foot tap. Then come back, 1 step forward with each hand. Then without bending your knees, walk forward as close as you can, ideally till you touch your feet, but wherever you feel a big stretch. And then if you've got more room, you can keep on going, or you can just turn in place and go back the other direction. So again, hands reach up. That was 1, so we've got 9 more. Reaching up, and hands down, walk forward, push up, and slide, whatever you're doing. Flagpole, other side, push up, flagpole, and 1 big step with each hand, walking your feet without bending your knees. Okay, you can keep on going with me or go at your own pace, whatever. Stretching up, down, walk forward, push up, flagpole, other side, push up, flagpole. One step forward with each hand, hips are up. Walk your feet. 3. Hands up, hands down, walk forward, push up, one side, other side, hands forward, hips up. All right, 4, almost halfway done. I'm gonna change my angle a little bit, going in a different direction, reaching up, hands down, walk forward, push up on one side, push up, flagpole on the other side. One big step with each hand, hips are up. Don't bend your knees. Halfway done. Reach up, reach down, walk forward, push up, flagpole, push up, flagpole. One big step with each hand, hips up, walk forward, about face, up, down, forward, push up, flagpole, push up, flagpole, hand step, feet walk up, about face, 3 left. Reach up, reach down, walk forward, push up, flagpole, flag, push up to flagpole. One step with each hand, walk your feet, and turn, up, down, forward, push up, tap, up, back, push up, tap, up, one step, each hand, hips up. Last one, up, down, walk forward, push up, flagpole, push up, flagpole, one step, each hand. Okay, next one we're gonna do is chameleons. You might know them as iguanas, but we're gonna do the small pace version. Iguanas is where you get down in this low bear crawl position and you go across the floor. I'm not gonna assume you have any space to do that, so we're gonna do one step forward and one step back, 10 per side. So iguana position, my one side is all stretched out, the other side bunched up. I'll switch so you can see what that looks like. So my left side is all stretched out. My right side is bunched up, my elbow touching inside of my knee. I'm gonna reach with my right hand as far forward as I can, pick up my left foot, right hand plants, left foot steps outside it. I'm gonna rewind that, left foot, right hand again, push back, and in the same starting position. That's 1. And again, right hand, left foot, reach, left foot plants outside your right, or sorry, left foot plants outside your left elbow, then push back, right hand, left foot again. So this whole time, your left hand, right foot are stuck to the ground. That's 2, forward, back, that's 3, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, 3 more, forward, back, forward, back, last one, forward, back. Okay, whew. Other side. So now, right side stretched out, left side bunched up, or opposite of whatever we did before. My rear hand, my rear foot are gonna move, reach. For me, it's left hand plant, right foot outside my hand, and then back, same hand and foot. 1, hand, foot, up, hand, foot, back. 2, forward, back. 3, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. 3 more. Forward, back, forward, back. Last one. Forward, back. Whew. Okay. If that's not tiring, you're in better shape than I am.